Hey y'all, welcome back to Same OT. And in today's video, I'm going to be discussing why I think I was so willing to accept Jehovah Witness doctrine about not celebrating birthdays. So let's go ahead and get into it. Growing up, yes, my birthday, was celebrated, but unless it was kind of like on a weekend, it wasn't like made a big deal. And for people who just now watching my channel for the first time, I did not grow up a Jehovah Witness. I became a Jehovah Witness as an adult, basically got baptized when I was 30. So let me just add that in there, not make the assumption that everybody who sees this video will know about the channel. So anyway, growing up, my birthday, it wasn't this like, big to do. If it was on a weekend when I was younger, probably would get a couple of my cousins, maybe one or two people from the block. My mom would take a Showbiz pizza. So it's basically Chuck E. Cheese now. So for people in the Chicagoland area, y'all probably remember Showbiz pizza if you're a certain age. And if it fell during the week, I would get cake, ice cream, and we probably would get pizza or Chinese food. And I would get, birthday cards and birthday gifts. But it wasn't like this big to do. And for a good chunk of my life, I was the only child on both sides. My parents married young and separated young and got divorced mid-age. That's a whole nother story. But so I was used to going to Toys R Us, just because it was the weekend, right? And getting a Barbie and things of that nature. So I think maybe that's why it wasn't like I had to put all emphasis on my birthday or even Christmas, because I was getting gifts and things of that nature on a regular basis, not just from my parents, but also my grandparents. On one side, I was the first grandchild, period. And then on the other side, I was like the first girl, So, gift giving, cakes and, things of that nature. It was kind of like a regular thing. So it wasn't all this emphasis put on my birthday. So I think I only really had one real birthday party, and I want to say I was maybe 10. I do have pictures of it. Yeah, I had to be in either fourth or fifth grade. So I think I was 10. And it was fun, it was cool. But I don't remember me thinking like, I gotta do this every year, just like, okay, it was cool, kind of thing. So once I began to study, they shared, what was it? Pharaoh had a party and John the Baptist, I believe, was beheaded. And it was, just debauchery and this, that, and the third. I think they shared a scripture where, well, not so much shared a scripture, but it's like, the principle I think that they used was, well, Jesus never said, remember my birth. It was always like Jesus said, remember my death. And that, the day of one's dying is more important than the day that they born, kind of thing. So it wasn't that big of a deal. I wasn't one of these people who, go all out for their birthday, or one of these people who celebrate their birthday all month long or all zodiac time period long, or all year long. People, they get excited, like whatever floats your boat, do you. So I think for me, it wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't fuss over birthdays personally, or even for other people. I would give a gift, that's a card, that's it. But it wasn't like we gotta do all this rigmarole. So I think that's part of the reason why I was so willing to just, kind of go along with it. But upon leaving, I realized how sad it is to enforce on people that they should not celebrate the day that they made it here on earth. What's wrong with saying happy birthday? Some people like to say happy born day, whatever floats your boat. But what's wrong with just, the traditional ways that here in America we acknowledge, that today, X number of years ago, you were born, kind of thing. What's so wrong with that? When I would hear the stories of some of the moms would say, oh yeah, I let them know 23, years ago, I was in the hospital. And it's like they say all the things, they dance all around it, but they just will not say those two words, happy birthday. And another thing that I really regret is that because now culturally, I'm a JW. I do what JWs do and things like that. So now I'm doing it to my family. Oh, you a year older. Oh, today is, what you gonna do today? It was just so stupid. Like saying these two words makes me a bad person. It goes back to the mind control, right? The brainwashing. And I think I especially hate that I bought into that regarding my dad. My dad passed when he was 56. And so for the last 6 years of his life, he didn't get to hear me say, happy birthday. He didn't hear me say happy Father's Day. And my dad, he liked hearing that. He wanted to feel loved by me, his only daughter. As far as I'm concerned, his only child. We don't know about that other one, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I just feel bad that I stopped saying those words to my dad. I started doing the dance around. Oh, you a year older. Oh, how it feel to be a year older. Oh, you my daddy all year round, not just today. It's so stupid. It's just so stupid. And I unfortunately, uh, fell right in line with the BS. And so I'm still not a big let's make a big fuss about my birthday person. And I think that's just my nature, my personality. I don't too much make a fuss over nothing. I'm probably one of the most like easygoing but not pushover people. Like I just don't want to spend the energy making a fuss over things or everything. But after being married, be 8 years this week that I've been married, I did start to, I guess you could say, celebrate. So sometime we'll go to dinner. Sometime, we'll take a trip or something like that. But my husband's birthday is 2 days before mine. And so a lot of times if we stay home, we would say, okay, we're going to go to this restaurant for your birthday. Then 2 days later, we'll go, here. By the time my birthday comes, I'm like, I'm good. At 50 years old or even in my 40s, I after I would probably say what, 42, 43, I just can't eat out every day or even every 2 days. I just can't. My stomach like, no, girl, we're not feeling that. So it's been times we have planned to go somewhere on my birthday 2 days later, and I tell my husband, it's okay. It's okay. And he like, you sure? You sure? So we'll still maybe exchange gifts and things like that. But I'm like, yeah, we don't have to go out. I'm just grateful to still be here. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's the celebration. I'm just still grateful to be here with a reasonable portion of health and in my right mind and some forward movement in my life, in regards to just my goals and dreams. Like that's more the celebration for me versus, the outward stuff. And that's just how I am. But I did this year, I turned 50, and I did want to do something nice. When my husband turned 50, we did the Virgin Voyage cruise, and we absolutely loved it. So when we were there, I said, this is what I want to do when I turn 50, and that's what we did. We did a different itinerary, but absolutely had a wonderful time. But this time, instead of just being me and my husband like it was for his birthday, it was me, my husband, my cousin, who is more like a sister. We call each other cousins. My good girlfriend who lives in Florida, who I met during MP school, and her friend. and we had a ball. Okay, we had a straight up ball. And so the point of this video is to let XJWs know, you know, be clear if you're not celebrating or acknowledging your birthday. Don't let it be because of what they told you. Let it be because that's just, who you are now as an XJW, personality wise, right? But if you are somebody like, I'm going all out because I never had a birthday or this and that, that's okay too. And so I'm going to include in this video just some snippets from the cruise, things that they did for me that really touched my heart. And this cruise was kind of bittersweet because my grandmother had just passed about a month ago. And so I didn't even know if I would, be strong enough to go. Yeah, so I knew she wanted me to go and enjoy myself and live. You know, that's what your birthday should be a reminder of, that you're still here and you still got time in front of you to live, and do some positive things in your life, in your community, your family, your friend circle, whatever the case may be. So I hope you enjoy. I'm going to do voiceover for the snippets of the cruise that I'll add to the later part of this. But I hope you enjoy it. I will be including, my cousin is my travel agent. This is not paid promotion, but if you're looking for somebody who's solid and going, take good care of you, if you decide to do a Virgin Voyage cruise, I'll leave her information in the description and answer any questions. If you have any questions about the Virgin Cruise Line that I could answer, from being a person, who, what am I called? Well, I guess they call a sailor, being a sailor, a goer, a cruise goer. But anyway, y'all, enjoy the remainder of the video. Checking out how I spent my 50th birthday on the Virgin Cruise as an XJW, living life. All right. All right. So this is our room. I love that when you open the door, the curtains open. And this is one of the typical rooms with the balcony. So I guess you would consider this like the standard size.
Just like how we left. It's tight up in there.
So this is my cousin's room. She got a rock star suite, and as you'll be able to see, it's huge.
Yeah. A turntable.
This is her bathroom. So as you can see, compared to ours, multiple people could be in here at one time. Virgin is an adults only cruise line, so as you can see, people were getting it started day one. And so this is just a snippet of some of the entertainment and shows and things of that nature that we did. Virgin's not your typical cruise line, so there's no buffets, there's no kind of American standard of food offerings per se. They have several Michelin chef prepared restaurants, and here's a snippet of some of the restaurants that we checked out, some of the fancy food and things of that nature. Abundance of food options definitely will get you out your comfort zone when it comes to like an elevated dining experience. Well, come sit down here. These are pistachio macaroons with fresh raspberries. When I tell you I ate these every day, I mean every day, sometimes 3 times a day. I had finally found the juice bar, and this was my first time trying sweet potato juice. This is my favorite restaurant on the cruise line, and this is where we celebrated my birthday. And this is the gelato bar, ice cream, if you will, and it's so good. Virgin has so many places that you can just sit and chill out, whether you want to be inside or if you want to be outside. It's a real experience. I would say a real adult experience. This is definitely by far my favorite cruise line, and really couldn't imagine going on another cruise line unless somebody is paying for it. For my ExJWs, every time I look at this footage, I just think to myself, now here's paradise on earth. Why wait until you are no longer here to experience paradise? We have the opportunity to do it now. So live your life. And here's something you probably wouldn't expect on a cruise line, but Virgin has a ton of fitness and exercise activities that you can do. As you can see, this is the cycling room. They have a nice setup for the gym. And so if you're somebody who's trying to maintain your fitness, your exercise routine while you are cruising, Virgin is definitely the place to do that. And here you can see they secretly decorated my room when I was out of the room. This was done by my husband and my cousin and my friends, and really touched my heart because about an hour and a half before I discovered this, I was in my feelings because I had realized that my grandma wouldn't be calling me to wish me happy birthday. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, just trying to summarize my 50th birthday cruise, and let this be a reminder to definitely don't be afraid to celebrate each year that you are still here on this earth, able to make something happen with each given year. And so with that, I'm out. Peace.